What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are talking about the newest from ILNP, their opening night collection for winter 2024. So this is actually the second winter collection that ILNP has released. The other one, which I did review, was a little bit more focused on like those wintry icy colors, and this time we have a bigger focus on the more jeweled tones of winter, and to me this collection definitely feels like New Year's vibes. But before we get into that, if you haven't heard of ILNP, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US, and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So yeah, like I said, we have a focus on the richer jeweled tones in this collection. We've actually got a bunch of jellies that have iridescent flakes running throughout, and that combination always gives me like a very gemstone kind of vibe. So I think this is just perfect for this time of year, but let me show you the swatches first, then we can get into my thoughts on them, pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatches. So as usual, I'm just using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Orly Bonder base coat. So we'll start off with the shade Curtain Call. This one is a very warm pink jelly base and it is packed with flakies. So these are all described as having these blue to silver iridescent flakies, but looking at them closely, I think it's actually blue iridescent flakies plus metallic silver flakies. So it creates a lot of visual interest, I think, and I think that this color is the most colorful version of that because when it combines with the pink, it really does look like a rainbow of flakies on the nail, which I think is so gorgeous. I was also really impressed with the opacity because I got this coverage in 2 coats and it did cover up my visible nail line. So this to me is just a stunning color and I love those flakies. Next up we have the shade Headliner, which is interesting because on the website it's actually described as having a purple jelly base, but on me this totally read blue, and I actually honestly until I just checked the website I thought that this one was a blue polish. Again, it has those same flakies in there where it looks like it's kind of a mix between the metallic flakies and the iridescent flakies, and this one is absolutely stunning. I thought it was giving sapphire vibes. I loved the coverage in 2 coats. You can very faintly see my visible nail line, but it's very smooth across my nail. It doesn't look patchy at all, and it really does have that sort of opalescent feel that these types of flakies give, so I think it's stunning. But if they were going to go with a purple, I do wish that it had been more purple. Even though I do love a cool toned purple, this definitely feels like a blue to me. And then we have the shade Late Night, which is another deep blue shade. This one is a little bit more of a warm jelly base, and this one is described as being a navy blue. There's definitely a bigger focus on blue in this collection, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But again, we have that same mix of flakies in here, and I will say with all of the blue bases, a lot of them look a little bit more monochromatic than the magenta shade that I showed you in the beginning, but I do still think that having that variety of flakies gives it a nice depth, and the coverage on this one was absolutely incredible. 2 coat coverage, it looked so gorgeous. I feel like it has so much depth to it in just the 2 coats. I absolutely loved it. And then we have the shade Take a Bow, which is yet another blue. So this one I would describe as a teal jelly base, again with the iridescent and metallic flakies running throughout. And this one I noticed was a little bit different from the others. It might just be because it's a lighter color, but I found that this one was the most sheer of the collection. So when I did it in 2 coats, it didn't quite give me the same amount of coverage, and I feel like it wasn't quite enough to wear as a more sheer 2-coater. You could see around the edges of my nail it was just a little bit patchy, so I ended up needing a 3rd coat. Now I don't mind because ILNP does have a thinner formula, so it's really easy to build up, but I was kind of hoping that these would all be 2-coaters because I think that would be really cool. But even so, I think it's a really gorgeous shade, and I feel like with this sort of teal color you could also make it work for any time of year. Moving on, we have the shade Until Midnight, and this one is actually a black jelly base, but again we have those same flakies in there that lean a little bit towards that blue silvery color. So this one also felt like it had pretty strong blue vibes to me, and this one I started off with 2 coats and I actually think that it looked great in 2. If you want a more jelly-like look, I feel like this works in 2. It didn't feel patchy on my nails, and I thought that the depth was really nice, but you still got a tiny hint of that sheerness in there. But with black jellies, flakies, especially with glitters in them, sometimes I like to make them a little bit more opaque, so I ended up applying a third coat, and I feel like that looked really nice. It actually did give me full coverage, and you still got really nice depth with those flakies, so I think either option looks great, just depending on what kind of style you're going for. And then last but not least, we have the shade Spotlight, which is a topper, and I believe that this is actually the same type of flakies as we've seen in the rest of the collection, because I'm seeing that metallic silver as well as iridescent flakies, but some of them do look a little bit pinker, and I'm not sure if that's because it doesn't have a base color or if it's because that's just a pinker tone. But I started off with one coat on its own just to show you what it looked like, and with iridescent flakies it is harder to see them over the naked nail, so it can be a lot more subtle. I ended up applying a second coat just to see what it looked like, and honestly I do think it's kind of a cute vibe. It might be cute for a little subtle French manicure sort of situation, but I think where this type of polish really thrives is over darker colors. So here it is over black, and I think it really transformed and looked absolutely stunning. And now you could see that it was definitely more of that teal silver kind of color with the flakies. And I also felt like over black I noticed that there's a little bit of a hollow sparkle in there, so definitely gorgeous. I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing with this one over deeper shades, and I think that this would be fun to try over warmer colors as well, especially because this is kind of the topper to this collection, but the collection really focused on the cooler tones, and I'm curious about it with the warmer tones. So here are all the shades together, and I have to say I really did enjoy these. I was very impressed with the opacity, with the exception of the teal Take a Bow. I feel like I could wear all of these in 2 coats, and I thought that was really great, especially for ILNP, which does tend to be a little bit thinner, but like I said, it's buildable, so I never mind that, but it's always a pleasant surprise when I can wear them as 2 coaters. I do think the colors are really stunning. I love the variety of flakies that we got in there. Even just the sizes were really nice. I do think it was an interesting choice to have so many blues in the collection, and a part of me wishes that there were a little bit more variety of color, like maybe having a deep emerald shade or having a more purpley toned color, but I will say all of the blues are really gorgeous, so I do like that. And I also really like having the topper so that I really have the option to create whatever variation that I want of this. I could also use it for jelly sandwiches because I do have a lot of those colors in jelly, and I think that would be really fun. So yeah, overall I do think this collection is a win, but let's talk about it a little bit more. So those are the polishes, and overall I really liked them. I did actually notice something in the last collection as well as this collection, which is this bigger focus on the more blue tones and shades that felt a little bit similar, but as a person who loves nail polish and loves collecting different colors, I definitely understand the desire to have different types of undertones or different types of blues. So I do think that they're different enough to warrant owning all of them, but I do understand for a more casual nail polish wearer, you might not want to get the full collection. But yeah, the colors themselves are absolutely gorgeous. I was really impressed with the opacity of these, and I appreciate them being buildable while also feeling like quality jellies that you can build up without having to worry about patchiness. Now, as far as pricing and availability, all of these polishes are available on the ILNP website. They come in 12 milliliter bottles. They do have a medium wide flat brush that has a straight tip, but application is still very easy, and they retail for $10 USD each. However, I always like to mention this because if you get ILNP polishes during their pre-order sale, they're always $1 off. So right now they are available for $9 USD each. So I always recommend grabbing them when the polishes first come out because that's when you're going to get the best deal. But yeah, I do think overall this collection is a win for me, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. So what do you think of these polishes? Are you planning on picking any of them up, or have you ordered them already? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's Would You Rather question is, would you rather erase all of your most embarrassing moments from everyone else's memories or erase them from your own memory? This is a good one. I feel like my instinct is to say I would rather erase them from my own memory, because as long as I don't remember, I'm not going to be concerned with other people remembering because it's not going to occur to me if the memory is not in my head. And also, I don't know about you guys, but there are times when I can't sleep and I'm just laying awake at night and I'm like, do you remember in 6th grade when you did that really embarrassing thing? I feel like that's the kind of stuff that'll keep me up at night. So if I didn't remember it, I don't think it would matter if other people remembered it. I don't think I have a problem in general like doing cringy or jokey things. So I could always justify it by saying like, oh, that wasn't embarrassing for me if I don't remember it being embarrassing. So yeah, I feel like that's gonna be my pick. Although I guess it's also very beneficial for other people to forget. But then I don't know, it might still keep me awake. So yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna go with forget about it myself. I don't care if anybody else remembers it. I'm not gonna remember it. So let me know your answer to the would you rather question in the comments, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.